Hey guys, this is Mo from 1 Month Spanish, and today I want to show you a unique tip for improving your conversational ability in Spanish. We hear from a lot of students who have been studying Spanish for a while, but who still have a hard time understanding native Spanish speakers in real-time conversation. Usually, these students can understand a decent amount of Spanish on paper, but they struggle to listen and to understand oral Spanish. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, you're going to love the technique in today's video. I've also included a link below this video to a special online tutorial and that walks you through the technique in greater detail. So if you don't want to sit through the rest of this video, you can go ahead and click on the link below this video and jump straight to the tutorial. Now first, it's important to understand why most people fail to ever reach the point where they can have an effective conversation in Spanish. Now most people think that the reason is because either they don't know enough vocabulary or because they haven't mastered enough of the grammar. But unless you're a true novice, this is rarely the reason. The truth is that you can have a decent conversation in Spanish without having to know that many words. Studies have shown that if you learned only the 600 most commonly used words in Spanish, you'd be able to understand roughly 80 to 85% of the words that are used in everyday conversation. So at 600 words, you could learn that with only learning 20 words a day over a period of about a month. So suffice it to say that learning vocabulary is not what keeps most people from ever becoming conversational in Spanish. For most students, the issue is that their ability to understand what they hear is simply not as strong as their ability to understand what they read. So we have a technique that we use with our students that is designed to improve your listening comprehension and allow you to understand spoken Spanish almost as easily as if you're reading the words from a piece of paper. We call our technique the Dialogue Deconstruction Method. And the gist of the method is to take an audio recording of a conversation in Spanish and then apply a step-by-step process to deconstruct the conversation over a series of sequential steps. So to practice this method, you'll need an audio clip of a short conversation in Spanish, along with a full transcript of the conversation in Spanish, along with an English translation. Once you have the necessary materials, you'll apply the following 5-step process. Step 1 is to listen to the full conversation once or twice, all the way through. And at this point, it doesn't matter if you don't understand much of the conversation. You're simply trying to get your ears warmed up and focusing on picking out any words that you maybe do recognize. Step 2 is to study the written transcript by itself. So the main thing at this point is we want to identify any words or phrases that you don't already know and make sure to learn those. Step 3 is to test yourself on the understanding of the written material by covering up the translation and then going through the Spanish transcript line by line and testing yourself on your ability to understand each sentence. Now in step 4, we want to go back to the audio. Here we're going to play the audio back one sentence at a time and then force yourself to write down what you hear being stated on the audio. And this is really the key step. And the idea is that, we've recently studied the written transcript and your brain is essentially primed to recognize the words when you hear them on the audio. So as we go through the process in this step, you're essentially trying to mentally sync up what you hear in the audio to what you've previously studied in the written transcript. And then finally, step 5, you're going to listen to the full conversation front to back again. So the idea is that even if you barely understood a word of the conversation in the beginning, by the time you get to step 5, you should have a much better understanding of the material. And this makes sense because of the work that you've done in each of the previous steps. You studied the written dialogue, you identified any vocabulary that you didn't know, and then you force yourself to listen to the dialogue one sentence at a time and sync up to what you previously studied in the written format. Now the beauty of this technique is that it allows you to practice and improve your conversational listening skills anytime you want, not just when you have access to a live speaking partner. The best way to get a feel for this technique is to try it for yourself. So be sure to click the link below this video and try the tutorial for yourself. After you've completed the tutorial, come back and leave us a comment and let me know what you think.